Hello everybody, this is Vincent from Affiliate Theme.io, and this is the second video about the product options, and now we're going to talk about the taxonomies. So first of all, what are actually taxonomies? So broadly speaking, a taxonomy can be compared to categories and tags we used in the post section before. So for example, if you have different products, they will always have some attributes in common. For example, the manufacturer. So this common attribute can be defined here in the taxonomy section. So this is very neat and very, very important, especially if you have a lot of products on your site and you want to manage them in a good way. Taxonomy is the optimal opportunity for that. So if you want to start creating taxonomies, you can just click Add Taxonomy down here, and a new field will appear. So there are a lot of options, don't be afraid, we will go through them step by step. So in order to understand all options taxonomies offer, let's just think about an example. So our affiliate website should be about gaming gadgets. And a possible gaming gadget is a gaming laptop, right? So, and if you have any laptop, they have always one specific attribute in common, and this is the manufacturer. Every laptop has a manufacturer. So one possible taxonomy would be manufacturer. Let's just start with this one. Very simple. So we're going to define the name. The name will be displayed here in our backend, but also if we choose this to be also in the front end for the customer. So choose that name carefully. And we're going to copy this to the database name. And now the basic options are already there. And now the next option is the deviating permalink. So this is a bit more complicated. So let's go back to our example of the Acer notebook. So we have the taxonomy manufacturer. So our product has a special value for the taxonomy manufacturer. In our case, it would be the value Acer. So, and we will import a lot of products to our web page, and there will be also a lot of Acer gaming notebooks. So we want them to be displayed on a specific page where the customer just sees Acer notebooks. So let's just see how the URL would look like for this. So of course, our normal URL, then comes manufacturer, because this is the taxonomy we defined, and then the next step would be Acer, because we just want Acer products to be displayed. So, but right here it says manufacturer. So if you wanted to be a different name or a different description, you can change this here in the deviating permalink. So this is basically what the deviating permalink is about. I think if you chose your database name and the corresponding name properly, you don't have to do that, but of course there are cases where it is sensible. So now let's take a look at the hierarchy. So you have two options here for hierarchy, the general hierarchy option and the hierarchy in the URLs. So as it is explained at the bottom, there's basically a difference in the taxonomies between tags and categories. You can imagine that as we had tags and categories with posts, you can also have something similar with taxonomy. So there are sort of two kinds of taxonomies. So the one is like a tag. So there cannot be any subtags, they are all just on one level. While the category actually can resemble subcategories and main categories, or also called parent categories. So right now we have it activated, and I would like to keep it like this, because then we can define something like sub-taxonomies. And we're just going to click update, so it's enabled. And I will go to product now. Again, you don't have to have products yet. I just want to show you what exactly that means if you come to a practical solution. So right now, here on the right side, if you added a product, you can see that there is a little manufacturer slide here. And basically, it looks right now as if it was a category, and it also says here add new category. So we could, for example, say one category being Acer. So we're going to click add new. And now we can see that Acer now appears as a manufacturer. And now there's another great advantage here, because we can say, well, maybe we want a subcategory of Acer. So we're saying here we're choosing a parent category, in that case Acer, and calling it maybe something like Acer Mobile. I have no idea if this exists, but that would be a possibility. So as you can see now, we have a hierarchy included in our taxonomy here. So this is the basic difference. So once again, you can disable this. Let's just try that. Click update. Go back to our product and also refresh the page. And you can see now this manufacturer section pretty much looks like the tag section from posts. So pretty similar, and also works in a similar way. So that's basically the difference in hierarchies. And last but not least, you can also enable hierarchies in the URL. So that means that the structure that has been constructed with a category hierarchy here will also be visible in the URL. So for example, we just had Acer, then it will say something like /Acer/Acer Mobile. So you can also enable it right here. So in the next step, we can define where our taxonomy will be displayed. Again, there are two options, the front end and the back end. So first of all, we want to define if this taxonomy should just be in our system in the back end, so that nobody sees it, we just use it to organize our products, or we actually want the customer to see this taxonomy. So for example, we now defined the manufacturer, which is a very relevant information for the customer. So we would like it to be visible, for example, on the product page, so that there's a list of attributes displayed about the product. So in that case, we will check yes, because it's relevant for the customer. And then we can also decide if it should be displayed in the back end or not. So this is basically relevant. If you just click here on products, you have a long list of all products that have been imported to your system. And now you have to decide whether this taxonomy should be displayed in this list or not. This can be sensible because it gives you a direct indication what kind of product it is. So some taxonomies you want to be displayed in the backend, some you don't want to be displayed. Manufacturer, again, I would say is a very important information, so I click yes again. And also please note here that too many taxonomies can cause the overview page to load slowly or even kill them. So just check this yes here if this taxonomy is really important for you to somewhat see directly what kind of product it is. So after we activated the options front end and back end, we will take a look at the taxonomies in action, where we can actually see them and how it looks like. So first of all, we've got to take a look at the front end. So we're going to our home page, we're going to refresh it, and we see already that in the list of products we displayed here, the manufacturer is displayed. So as we said, as we defined, we want to display the taxonomies on the front end. We can see that it happens here, and also if we click the product, we can see that here in this product data section, the one taxonomy we defined is already displayed. So now we're going to go to our product overview here, And so here we already have plenty of products, and we can see that the taxonomies are displayed here in this table on the right side. So you can also see them here, and you have a good overview of your products with the help of taxonomies. So the next option right here defines the layout of our taxonomy page. So just to remind you again what the taxonomy page is. Right here we have our URL, we have the taxonomy we defined, manufacturer, and then we have Acer. This is the first value we gave to the taxonomy we defined for this one product before. So if you open this page, we can still just see it like this. So a simple list of product is displayed, but as with every other part of the theme, you can customize the layout of this page. So let's just change it to grid and click update. Refresh on the front end, and we can see a grid layout is displayed. So we have a grid layout now, but this is not everything we can do. We want a grid layout with a hover effect, and we want a sidebar on the left in a 9:3 ratio. And well, let's try 8:4 first and click update. Go back to the front end, update, and as you can see now on the left side we have a sidebar, and on the right side we have the product with a hover effect. So again, here we can change so many things just according to the design preferences you have. Well, for now let's just deactivate the sidebar. It's not really necessary at this stage of development, and let's deal with the rest of the options. So here we can define how the products are sorted on the overview page. Right now it's by date. We could also sort it by price or name. Let's just sort it by rating for now. This is just one option, just as you prefer. And again, you can of course define if it's descending or ascending, and you can define the amount of products displayed on the first page. So this is pretty obvious. Then you can still define if the user has a known filter where they can just customize the display and sorting, so they can't change how many gigabytes of SSD this computer has or something like this. This is not that kind of filter. It's just a filter about the display and sorting method for this page. So we're just going to click yes and filter description. Please filter your products here. So after we clicked update, we go back to our front end, click refresh. The sidebar disappeared, and we now have the option for the user to define how this page is displayed. So he can change, for example, that he wants a list and not a grid overview, and he can also define how the product should be sorted. So for example, you can say by new releases. So that doesn't change, of course, because we just have one product. So last but not least, let's add the last two taxonomies, departments and equipment. So we can just click add taxonomy here. A new taxonomy appears, and this time it will be the departments. We're going to take the same name for the database, and we don't need a deviating permalink. We want the hierarchy to be activated, and also the URLs for now. We want it to be displayed in the front end, yes, because we said department should be something like categories, so that's again very relevant for the customer, and I will also just want it to be displayed in the backend. The layout, we're going to do this similar to the other taxonomies, so we have a coherent design, so it will be grid with a hover effect, and no sidebar. And again, we're going to activate a user filter, add the same text, and the rest of the options, well, let's just do it rating by default. So we have this taxonomy, and we're going to add the last one, which is equipment. Again, we will copy it to database name. Hierarchy will be activated. The hierarchy in the URLs, we will just activate it for now. Let's see in the future if that's sensible or not. We want it to be displayed in the front end and in the back end, because we just have those 3 taxonomies for this project. So we can really display it both in the back end and the front end. No worries about that. Again, grid with hover effect, no sidebar, sorted by default by rating. User filter activated, and no, we want the same text again for the filter description. Paste it here, click update, and that's it. We want to define some categories for each taxonomy we defined. So we had the 3 taxonomies: manufacturer, departments, and equipment. And of course, there are different kind of manufacturers for our website, and also different kind of departments and different kind of equipments. So let's just start doing this with the manufacturers. So this is quite a long list, because we will have plenty of products here. So let's just start with Asus. We can just click enter, and the category will automatically be added. So let's just do it with all of them. So as you can see now, we added all manufacturers for possible products we want to import to our affiliate website. Please also note, right now I sometimes copy and pasted something that was already existing in our list, and the system automatically here said like, okay, this term already exists in our category list, we're not going to include it. So you can just like randomly copy and paste it, and the system is intelligent and just going to see, well, is this already existing or not. So we still have the 3 other categories, taxonomies, and we already added, I already added all of them, because this is basically the same. So right here we have the different kind of departments on our website. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. And last but not least, we have the equipment. This is again a bit more interesting, because you can see that we have so-called subcategories. So for example, cables. There can be different kind of cables. There can be, for example, an Ethernet cable or an HDMI cable. So for example, a product can be a cable, but more specifically an Ethernet cable. So I added this, and I'm just going to show it to you once how this would work with an example. You can here choose a parent category. So let's just say this ABC category is supposed to be part of monitor stand. Why not? I'm going to click add new. And you can see now this is a subcategory of monitor stand. We don't really want this, so I'm just going to delete it again, and it's gone.